Greetings, it's Alex Shelburrr for the Shelburne Freelancer. We just finished up the first Shelburne Town Council meeting, and I'm here with Shelburne Mayor Ken Bennington. And I was wondering if you could review a few things that we covered in tonight's meeting.
I sure will, and Happy New Year, and to you and all your viewers. So thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Would you mind discussing the hottest topic covered this evening?
Hottest topic? There's several. One I'd like to talk about right away is that we received notice tonight from the Kinsman Club that the Fiddle Parade, Shelburne Fiddle Parade, is in jeopardy. The Kinsmen have run it for forever, and they're having some membership concerns. And the one gentleman, Mr. Pickett, who we owe a debt of gratitude for, has run the event for over 35 years and has decided that he can no longer do it. So that was brought to our attention tonight. I'm hoping to get some press muscle behind it and maybe find some people who are willing to come forward and maybe learn on the job or join the committee or a different committee that may want to take this under their umbrella to continue with this parade. It's part of our identity, and I would sure hate to lose it.
Well, that's great news, and I'll try and spread the word on that. Now, while the OPP costing is going on, I believe that Council's made a decision to take the procedural approach and not waste any time while you're waiting for those findings.
Yeah, so if you'll recall that the town of Shelburne has a police station problem, not a police service problem, and so out of that discussion came an OPP costing. At the end of the day, the deficiencies with our Shelburne police station exist today and need to be addressed, starting today. So, while that OPP costing is continuing, we don't want to lose any steam. We're going to be probably a year while we wait for those results. We don't want to lose a year in planning should council decide to stick with Shelburne Police Service when the day comes. And so tonight council committed some seed money, I think it was $20,000, towards some real estate searches, some property searches, some planning necessities in that regard, so that concurrently while the OPP costing is going on, we're not losing any steam or not losing any time with a potential new station for Shelburne Police Service.
Well, we have a little bit of a sewer situation going on with two properties in Shelburne, and the property owners addressed council this evening. And I was wondering if you could just give a broad overview.
Sure. So what we have is two gentlemen bought, their father and son, not that it matters, but they bought properties side by side. And they just recently bought the properties like in the last year. And I think in August or sometime ago, they reached out to me to say, hey, we have a problem, would you mind coming over? And as it turns out, we've discovered through staff research that one of the houses was built in 1910 and the other house was built in 1950. Well, it turns out that the sanitary sewers for those two properties run through the neighbor's yard without an easement on title, without, they'd be, it's the wrong term, but they'd be illegal sewers. We don't know who installed them or when they were installed. We just know that they're there today, and that's a problem that council needs to fix. We charge a sewer service, and tomorrow if that adjacent property owner said no more sewer, then these gentlemen would be in a real bind. And so we're trying to go through that process and determine, is the town responsible legally for those illegal services? Were they put in with the town's consent or knowledge back in the day? And so we're just going through that process now, trying to do a bit of detective work, if you will, and come to a resolution in the next meeting. Well,
it's a big responsibility for today's council to look back on decades-old councils and decide what to do about it.
Yeah, and it's tough, when we use the word illegal, it implies some wrongdoing. I don't think there was any wrongdoing on anyone's part.
Right.
It's just that none of those people are here now to ask, and the documents from a sewer installed in 1940 are not as robust as they are today.
Interesting segue into the next topic, building and decks. We had a few residents in council, and they have some concerns. Could you give us a little bit more information?
Yeah, so we had a neighbor complaint regarding their next door neighbor which this gentleman had built a gazebo on his deck to cover his hot tub. It was a very nice structure, but it's built to right to the lot line with a zero clearance to the neighboring property. That created an issue for the neighbor, who generated a complaint. We've now gone with our bylaw and our planners to investigate that property, and we're still in the stages of determining what to do there. The structure is a bit too high, and it's a bit too close to the neighboring property. But at the same time, we discovered there might be a hole, if you will, in an old bylaw regarding setbacks for semi-detached properties. And so I'm sure when that bylaw was written in the town of Shelburne, we would have had a handful of semi-detached properties. Now, as you know, we have a lot more, and I think it's as we work through this neighborhood dispute over this certain gazebo, I think it's time we brought that bylaw back on the table and update it to today's standards as well.
Now, to end on a high note, I understand that during Shelburne's Shelburrr Fest, which is highly anticipated and attended by a lot of people from all over Dufferin County, I understand you're going to be getting kind of wet.
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We had Constable Jeff McLean from Shelburne Police Service at council tonight, who challenged myself and all of council to participate in the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics Ontario. And so that will take place February long weekend at Shelburrr Fest. I don't have all the details, but he issued me a challenge and I'm certainly up for it. But I understand it's cold water, and I'm going to be getting into it. So the good news is it's in February, and that will give me some time to do some sit-ups, and so I can look good in my swimsuit.
How much money do you hope to raise?
Well, at $2,000, there's a weasel out clause, so I'm hoping to raise $2,001, to be quite honest.
Well, that's great. And once again, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for this interview.
Anytime. Thanks for coming.
This is Alex Shelburrr, the Shelburne Freelancer, sharing Shelburne with the world.